Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am Aisha Singh and in today's video we will be discussing about that Pakistan's sedition law has been struck down by the Lahore High Court. So what has happened and why is the sedition law struck down? Let us first understand the timeline. First we'll be looking at the news, then about Pakistan's seditious law, then the petition against Article 124A, then the India's stand on the sedition law. What is the sedition law in India and what does it say? What is the penalty? Then what are the issues or the significance of the sedition law? Then the Supreme Court's stand on it. In the end, a prelims MCQ. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 2, that is polity or the governance section. From exam perspective, very important topic as it is always in news throughout the year. So you should be able to know first is what is the sedition law in India's, and then the Supreme Court's take on it and what are its issues or its significance. So let's see the news. The news has been taken from the Indian Express and it says Lahore High Court strikes down Pakistan's sedition law. The law, the case and India's parallels. What is important for us is the law in India and is India's parallels. What is the sedition law in India and what are its different criteria or the different directives of the sedition law. So what has happened is the Lahore High Court in Pakistan has invalidated the provisions of the PPC 124A section talks about the sedition law in Pakistan. So the Lahore High Court has invalidated the section 124A and is also referred to as the sedition law. Section 124A made it a crime to engage in sedition or disaffection against the government. Important word here is crime. So it was the Pakistan Penal Code section 124A which made sedition against the government a crime in the country. And the batch of petitions seeking to declare the provisions as unconstitutional or ultra vires. So many people have sent petitions or filed petitions in the court in the Pakistan or in the Lahore High Court so that the provisions of the sedition can be struck down. So what has happened is, let us look at the Pakistan's sedition law. What does the Pakistan sedition law say? See, Pakistan's sedition law and India's sedition law is similar. They are absolutely same. So what is Pakistan's sedition law is also what is India's sedition law. So whenever I am talking about Pakistan's sedition law, you can also think that this is also India's sedition law, as the definition of the sedition law in both Pakistan and India is absolutely similar. So the section 124A of Pakistan Penal Code, it defines sedition as, this is the exact definition, that sedition as whoever by words either spoken or written, it means someone who is either speaking or writing the words will be considered as under sedition, or by signs, any kind of signs will also be considered, or by visible representation. Visible representation means doing something which is visible to the other person and the other person is also getting persuaded by it. Brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt, or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the federal or provincial government established by law. So it says anything which is written or spoken or signs or visible representation or hatred, something which is persuading people or something which is exciting the people to go against the government or to go against the law of the country is what constitutes sedition. So anyone who would be doing this, then he or she would be punished under the law. So anything which is done against the government or the law of the land, then that person would be punished under the sedition law. Then shall be punished with imprisonment for life. It means punishment can be life imprisonment or fine, or may be added. It means life imprisonment can be done, fine can be made on the person, and both imprisonment and fine can also be made. Then which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added or with fine. So it means the punishment can be life imprisonment or fine or both. So this is what is the definition of sedition. If in simple terms you can say, like, see, imagine this is one person and this is another person. Here few of the people are standing, and this person who is standing alone is trying to do something, or he's speaking or making some signs or visual representation and doing something which is against the government of the country. And by seeing his actions, the other people who are present there are also getting persuaded by the person's action, and they also get persuaded by the person or influenced by the person and try to do something which goes against the government or the law. Then this person, the first person who's alone and trying to do something, would be booked under the seditious law, and other people also, because they are also getting persuaded and trying to do something which goes against the government. So this is what is called sedition in simple terms. Then petition against Article 124. This is not article, this is section 124A of Pakistan Penal Code, and this is what the people, why the people have filed petition, and what they are trying to seek is that the constitution accords the right to freedom of speech and expression to every citizen. This is what the petitions which has been filed is saying, that if the constitution has given the right to freedom of speech and expression, then how can it be that because of sedition law we are not able to speak our mind? Then second petition says that section 124A of the PPC is in derogation of fundamental rights provided under article 9, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 19, 19A of the constitution. Then the section 124A of the Pakistan Penal Code is going against the fundamental rights 9, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 19A of the constitution. This is what the other petition is also saying. Basically, it is about the right to freedom of speech and expression, that whenever we hear this point of sedition and whenever we see that the sedition law is in news, it is basically that this comes against the people's freedom of speech and expression, that is article 19. Then now let's talk about India's stand on the sedition law. As I've told you that the sedition law of India and Pakistan was same, so the definition which I gave you when we were talking about the Pakistan sedition law, it is similar with India also. So this is same as Pakistan. Then IPC, that is Indian Penal Code, also defines it under section 124A as well as the Pakistan Penal Code. Then punishment in India is that sedition is considered to be a non-bailable offence. If someone is booked, then the non-bailable offence it is, and the imprisonment ranges from up to 3 years to a life term, to which a fine may be added. That is, imprisonment alone or fine alone, or both imprisonment and fine together can be made. Then a person charged under this law is barred from a government job. So if any kind of sedition law or a criminal case or a police case is against the person, then government job will not be, he or she will not be applicable for the government job. Then this has to live, the person has to live without their passport and must appear in court at all times as and when required. So passport would be taken away, the person would be required to appear before the police or the court as and when asked to do so, then will be barred from the government job, or imprisonment of 3 years or a life term or a fine. So these are the punishment in India about sedition law. Now let's talk about what are the issues with the sedition law, or you can say also say that what is the significance of the sedition law. So basically what is being said is, there are few of the things which goes again is the reasonable restrictions. It is often said that even the fundamental rights are not compulsory, or the fundamental rights are also not permanent. There are few of the reasonable restrictions implied to them also. So restrictions has to be there on almost everything, because when it comes to all the other people also living in the society, then every person cannot be given something which disturbs the other person or disturbs the public order, and that is why reasonable restrictions has to be there and has to be in place. So, maintaining unity and integrity. This is what has been said regarding the sedition law, and this says that sedition law helps the government in combating anti-national, secessionist and terrorist elements, because the seditious law helps the government to prevent all these activities. Then maintaining stability of the state. This helps in protecting the elected government from attempts to overthrow the government with violence and illegal means, because many a times we see that few of the people, they form a group and try to do something or overthrow the government. We have already seen, and the news is already going on regarding the Khalistan movement recently, and we saw what happened in the Indian embassy or the Indian embassy in London, that the Indian flag was trying to take it down, but it was prevented at the last moment. So these are few of the activities from which the government can save themselves by the seditious law. Then reasonable restrictions. If the constitution provides reasonable restrictions even to the fundamental rights, then even to the people also reasonable restrictions has to be given, so that they do not disturb the public order. Then Constitution of India prescribes reasonable restrictions under Article 19 Clause 2. So if people have the fundamental right of freedom of speech and expression, then certain restrictions has to be there, that what a person can speak and what a person cannot speak. Because if a person is saying something or is expressing themselves, and that expression of the person is going against the public order, or is hurting someone sentiments, or is giving critical information about the security or the integrity of the country, then that information or that expression has to be restricted. Then Supreme Court's stand. So there was a landmark decision by the Supreme Court in Kedarnath versus Union of India case 1962, in which the Supreme Court upheld the constitutional validity of the sedition law while trying to curtail its misuse. Because it has been said that many a times the seditious law has helped the government preventing some activities which could have, the repercussions of those activities could have been very, very severe. Then the court upheld the law on the basis that this power was required by the state to protect itself. So that the state also needs to have some kind of power, so that it can protect themselves from some activities which should not be going around in the country, but due to the diversity of the country, or many a times a group of people is not happy with some kind of decisions, then the group might take a stand or a expression, or might persuade people, which can have very, very severe repercussions for other people or society as a whole. Then in the end, it's time for the prelims MCQ, and you people need to tell me the answer in the comment section. And this says, consider the following statements. First, in India, Assam accounted for the maximum incidents of sedition. The NCRB report has given the names of the states which records the maximum number of sedition activities. Then, and this is, I would say, if you will apply your logic, you will be able to get to the answer. Then the Indian Penal Code defines sedition under section 124A. Then sedition is a non-bailable offence in India. Which of the statement is correct? And the codes are 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 2 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So try to solve the question and give me the answer in the comment section. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.